Good morning. How is everybody out there? So, good morning, everybody. Oh my goodness gracious. Or it could be this afternoon, or it could be this evening, or who knows from now. It could be in a month or two that you just come across me and find me, and you're like, how often do I use a four-letter word? Ooh, this is juicy. I use it a lot. Well, if anyone even knows me a little bit, you might be even questioning that because I don't throw out those words. I'm not I've never been a cusser. I'm not a cusser. Today when I'm hearing everybody so just like flippantly throw things out there, I'm like it's not even for shock and awe anymore. What is it really for? But I have a four-letter word that I bet you use it too. Well, listen, I'm going to hold you in suspense for a second. So, in case you're new to me, right, my name is Kellie Lupsha. I'm a high performance health coach. I've been in the health and wellness field for almost 30 years, and my background has been I've been a specialty in brain health, helping people optimize their brain either after it's been injured, like a stroke or direct traumatic brain injury or concussion, or optimizing your health as we're getting older. And we're going to have a big series coming up on brain health. So if you don't follow me or if you don't subscribe to me, follow, subscribe, because you're not going to want to miss this series that I'm putting out. Because I have to just tell you a couple statistics that of of everyone that's being diagnosed with Alzheimer's is the most common form of dementia. 2 out of every 3, which means 50% more women than men are being diagnosed. And the diagnoses happening in women are like 62 to 65. That is like now for some of you, or right around the corner for some of you. So, what we do with our brain health today really matters. So, it's leading me up until today, right? What is this four-letter word? It starts with an F. But I just said I don't really cuss. So, if you're following me, right, like of what I'm throwing down, right? It's the word, drum roll, please. It's the word fine. Do you use fine in your vocabulary? I bet you do. And you might think, well, like, who cares, Kellie? And why is that even your four-letter word? Let me ask you this. Of every single time you say that word, somebody asks you, how are you? I'm fine. If you could really pick a word of what you are you really fine? No. You might be delighted, joyful, enthusiastic, which is awesome. But you also might feel like crap, be frustrated, be depressed, be upset, be angry. I don't know, but we often use that word fine to stuff our feelings. It just doesn't matter. I'm fine. There's no yes or no, I'm fine. But unfortunately, if you're anything like me, you go down that rabbit hole of fine, and fine becomes, I'll just do it. I'll just take care of it. I'll fix it. I'll figure it out. Any of this ringing true with any of you out there? And before you know it, you've created, honestly, a monster inside yourself. Somebody who's not asking for help, somebody who's not asking for support, somebody who's not enjoying the day, somebody who's not bringing the joy, somebody who's not being that lighthouse out there for others that they need you to be that lighthouse, because you've had people in your life that you really look up to, mentors that you've had, coaches, just people that like are extraordinary or living extraordinary that you want to be like. But unfortunately, if your motto is I'm fine, you're not being that lighthouse for others. So let me ask you, I want you to say yes in the comments down below, wherever you are or listening to this. I want to know, are you using the word fine? You know, they often say, if any of you out there have children, they often say that the behaviors or actions your children that they take are caught, not taught. Anybody ever heard that before, right? The behaviors our children exude or copy are behaviors that are caught, not taught, meaning your kids do what you do, not what you say. So let me ask you, what are things that you do in your life that portray you're fine? Think about that for a moment. Maybe you've asked somebody to do something and they fell short, so you do it for them. Maybe you're on a time crunch and you don't know if the other person's going to do it, so you do it anyways. Maybe you've asked somebody to help you with a project. It could be the laundry. It could be picking up their room and they don't, and you do it anyways. Maybe you really need help in technology, but you're so stubborn and I'm fine. You'll figure it out 6 hours later where you could have just called for help or paid somebody to do it for you. I have been in the fine trap for way too long. And to the point of, if you're fine and you're shutting down feelings and emotions, then you're also not experiencing the really great stuff, the really amazing stuff, the fabulous stuff. This is what I mean. There's a beautiful sunset, or the waves are crashing, and you don't even take a moment to reflect the beauty, the sounds. Tap into your senses of what are you seeing? What are you feeling? What are you smelling? I tell you, when I used to live in Southern California, I would run basically my same route, right? Like, I don't run every day anymore, but let's just call it 3 times a week. Consistently, I would run my same route. For years, I didn't know certain like flowers and bushes were there. I didn't even notice certain signs that were there. And when I started getting out of the fine and I started observing and using my senses, and if I wasn't fine, that was okay. I needed to express it. And if I was more than fine, that's okay. I need to express it. And I saw more beauty in the world. I saw more beauty in myself. I was able to do more. I was able to enjoy more. And that's what I want for you. Too many of the time, we are walking around the world saying, I'm fine. So I want you to start putting that word fine in the same category of every other 4-letter word. Because sometimes it comes with some emotion like, I'm fine. And they're like, oh, really? You're really fine? It also goes to this place of, what do you want for dinner? I don't care, right? The fine leads to like, whatever. It just doesn't matter. And that's not the way you should live life either. Now, sometimes you may not have an opinion like, sure, I'll eat this or I'll eat this. I love them both. But make yourself have an opinion. Like, oh, actually tonight I would prefer salmon over chicken because we often have chicken. Say it. If they're like, oh, I was really hoping for chicken, we could say, okay, it's cool. Let's have chicken tonight and salmon tomorrow. But you've made a decision, meaning you've used your feelings, right? What are your feelings? Because otherwise it's again a little bit just like blah, whatever, fine. What do you guys think? Do you guys use the word fine? I know I've got a couple people on here with me live. A lot of you later are listening either to a podcast or my YouTube channel, wherever you might find me. But ask yourself, are you missing out on life because you're using the word fine? And if you could record yourself for a day and track the number of times you use the word fine, what do you think that would be? Like 2 or 3, half a dozen, 10, 20? I want you to start recognizing what you're not dealing with, what you're stuffing, what you're just taking on, where you're missing out in joy, where you're missing out in life, where you're not operating your zone of genius because you're just doing fine and you're just taking care of everybody else and all the things and whatever. And then you're just like, what is life? What is it? Like, I'm not, the joy is missing. You cannot live an extraordinary life if you're walking around fine. Also, where I want to start leading us to, because like I said when I started this today, is we're going to be having a big brain health series, is if you're saying you're fine all the time, you're not letting your brain be a critical thinker, make decisions, support your brain health, because you're just in the stuck mode. and you're in the cortisol mode. And everybody's like, the talk of the town, right, is like, get out of fight or flight, get out of cortisol. It's rushing through our body. Cortisol, is more addictive actually than sugar. Okay. So more addictive than even certain drugs. And we get addicted to this cortisol. So it could just be the hustle, bustle, rush, but oftentimes we shut down because we say we're fine. How are you? I'm fine. Oh, everything's fine. Dinner's fine. This was fine. Our night out at the wedding was fine. Oh, my Christmas, oh, it's fine. Really? That's all you have to say about those things is that it's fine? I don't think so. I don't think so. I think you've got love. I think you've got bliss. I think you've got awe. I think you've got all this there that's not showing up. Yeah, it's not showing up. And if you are going through some times of grief, disappointment, frustration, anger, show up as that okay. Because if you can show up as that, you can work through that. I grew up and I just thought, what was that? Who has time for feelings? Come on, we got to get stuff done, ladies and gentlemen. Was that you? So it's like, oh, my kid fell, hurt their knee. Oh, come on, brush it off. You're fine. Let's get going. Versus, I see you. Oh, that must hurt. Would you like some help? Oh, it's probably not that bad. Let's keep going. I made them feel seen, heard, and their feelings were validated, right? I didn't do a good job as a mom validating my kids' feelings. I just told them to suck it up. Who else was like a suck it up mom and you're fine and let's go? Yes. But what I found is that was really starting to interfere with my relationships, with friends, with my good girlfriends, with my spouse, with my kids. And then I started seeing them follow my actions of fine. I'm like, ooh, that is not so healthy. And when I also entered into business, I started with that mentality. And my business was stalling out on me because I was just, oh, fine, I'm fine, I'm fine. Versus, can you help me? I don't understand this. Could you do this for me? Asking for help and support was like a new concept to me. It was so novel. And now I'm like, ah, this is so great. We were meant to be in community, in partnership of the world, and we do things together. We weren't supposed to do things alone. But when I was just living the life of fine, which I now tell people fine is my 4-letter word. And when I catch myself saying it, I have to take a moment, reflect. Now, how do I really feel? And that's okay. And I should feel the feelings, which will enrich your life and will enrich every aspect of your life. So I want you to take note, or I want you to, if you know already, do you use the word fine like just a couple times a day? Then I want you to put a number 1. Like, you just use it 1, 2, maybe 3 times a day, number 1. Do you think you throw it around like 5 or 6 times? Are you a half a dozen a day girl or guy? Drop a 2 down. But if you're on the 10 or more, you're rolling the dozen, drop a 3. Because whether you're a 1, 2, or 3, we've got some work to do. But if you're a 2 or a 3, we really have some work to do because I know you want to live an extraordinary life. I know we were all meant here for more. We cannot live that way if we're living in the world of fine. Are you like getting me today? I really, really hope so, you guys. Sometimes I feel like it's a one-sided conversation. I'm not getting too many comments back. I don't really know. But I want you to get it. Life is short. Live it to the fullest. And if you're living in the fog, my fog, I was fine. I was fog, right? I was fine in my life fog. Then you're not really living. And you can no longer afford to live a day like that in your life in fine, or you're just walking in a foggy world. So I hope this was helpful. I want to know, is it your word? And are you going to get better on it? Do you get me? Like, oh my God, I had no idea. I use that word all the time. Well, it's time to change. All right, you guys, I hope this was helpful. Like always, a couple of you guys have been asking me, and I want to make sure that everybody knows because it seems to always get missed, right? That if you want to spend a little bit of time with myself and with one of the very top naturopathic doctors, functional medicine practitioners around, you have a unique exclusive opportunity to spend a day with myself and Dr. Heidi. You can head out to California, sunny Southern Orange County, California, or you can head to Dallas, Texas. So are you available March 6th? We're heading to California. March 20th, we're heading to Texas. So you choose. Spots are filling up. We still have early bird left for Orange County for a few more days. For Dallas, Texas, it's open till the end of the month, but then it's full price. So save $100, register today, and we will see you there. And if for some reason I miss you on the retreat, I'll see you back here next week.